And then I would haul hay in Houston, Texas. Hauling hay, I don't think there's a worse job because it's so hot. It is so hot, and that stuff is itchy, and it gets all over you, and it's heavy. And you're throwing it up on the trailer, and as you add it up on the trailer, you're throwing it up over your head at the end. So it gets harder. The more you work doing it, the harder it gets. And then you get it all loaded up, and guess what you do, Landon? You take it to a barn that has no circulation whatsoever, and you put it in the loft. So now you're carrying it up a rickety ladder from the outside that's set on the trailer, and then you carry the daggum thing up, and someone grabs it. And so you're either in the loft or on the trailer lifting it up to them. And so the job just gets worse as the day goes. Putting the first hay bale on the trailer is the easy part. The last one's the worst part. So, yeah.
So plumbing was a step up for you, huh?
Yes, it made me love plumbing really, really quickly. It didn't take me long to figure that one out. So,
How did you progress? How did you progress in your skill set to go from you're baling hay to now you're laying some pipe to I'm going to make this a career and become a business owner, sell a business, like how
yeah,
did you
great question.
do
Well,
that?
obviously, once I graduated from high school, I moved to the coast. I wanted to be on the beach, and I went to work for another plumbing company, and I actually learned plumbing from him. He didn't treat me like a grunt, so learned some plumbing from that guy, and so I did that for a little while. Then I started a business, pressure washing hulls of boats. And, back then you would raise the boat up and dry dock it, and then they would scrape all the clams off of it, and, all the things that grow on it, barnacles, all the things that grow on the boat. Well, I had a friend that had a rental company that had a worn out pressure washer, and he financed it. It was $800. He financed it for me. And when I wasn't working for the plumbing company, I would go with, scuba gear, if you will, and I would go underwater and I would scrub these boats with this pressure washer. And then they'd pull the boat up. They pulled the first one up to check it, to see the work. And it was just as good as what they were dry docking. And so then I had a business. And so I quit plumbing and I started doing that. And then I sold that business. It's still in business today in the same town, still there.
Wow.
Yeah, long time ago. They did really well. It's evolved. It's called Seaside Detail, and is a paint store and everything else, but it's still there, which is cool. The original purchaser. So I sold that business for a whopping $90,000.
Oh wow.
21 years
That's pretty
old.
impressive actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, $90,000 was like 900 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, it
At the time.
at the time, and for a kid that never really had a lot of money, right? And then I moved to Dallas with the money in hand, and got a job working for a new construction company building houses. I was a punch out tech, and the plumber, Mr. Berkey, was our plumber. And unfortunately, after I got to know him, got to know his crews and stuff, he passed away. And then that's how I ended up with Berkey's. That's the short version, obviously. But
wow.
I
mean, what a progression of your life, and it's just because you just kind of kept going, trying new things,
yeah, trying to find my
being willing
place.
to do the things that other people didn't want to do, and just the more what I've learned about life is the more that you keep going and saying yes to things and doing things, like you just eventually find yourself in the right place, and that's I guess that's what people call luck, right?
Yeah, it wasn't lucky while I was going through it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And that leads us to what we're going to talk about today is like, I didn't have any business degrees. I didn't know proper structure of anything. The fortunate thing was a condition of purchasing the business with the bank, because the bank, was involved with her and myself, was that I needed to learn how to read financials so I know how to run a business. And to me, that was probably the biggest blessing I ever could have gotten. The biggest blessing, the biggest lesson, the biggest changer of everything for me. Because I didn't know anything about a profit and loss statement. I didn't know anything about a balance sheet. And I think a lot of contractors today just don't know. They just hire an accountant. And
I mean, which is kind of amazing, because I've been going at this now 25 or so years. And I thought it was amazing 25 years ago that nobody had a clue about their financials.
mm-hmm.
And you work with enough people and you see enough people doing it. But still today, I come across people that just have absolutely no idea what they're doing with their financials, no clue about it. And it still amazes me, because the only thing that's really important in business, like you know how to generate a lead and sell something, at that point in time, everything is dependent upon the financials of the business.
Yep. Yeah. And that right there was the number one thing. And, obviously we will do more and more shows on this, because it is probably the most important thing that we can do for the trades. That's why I built software or Sarah on this premise of financial statements, for that very reason, because that's more important than I can't think of anything more important than that.
I can't stress enough if you're in business, the number one thing that you need to do is to become a master of financials. Really, truly. I don't care if you got to take 15 courses. I don't care if it's foreign to you. I don't care if your mind doesn't think that way. You have to do whatever it takes to be able to have a set of financials sitting in front of you and be able to dive through them and fully understand what it all means, how it all comes together, and why the output is what it is.
It is. And even if you're a technician a plumber or AC tech, an electrician, it doesn't matter. You are technically a business for the business you work for. And you should treat it as such. That's right. Your whole life is a business.
If you think of your paycheck as your revenue stream, right? I mean, your revenue streams, what comes out of that, the taxes come out of that. What do you spend the money on? What are you left with at the end of the day? And are you profitable or not?
Yep. And if we can get our mind set properly on this idea that you are a business and you want to learn how to run your own business, you need to learn how to run your own business in the truck you're in right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You just need to, whether you want to go in business for yourself or not. But what I see a lot of people do, technicians, plumbers, electricians, is they become the top dog in the company and then don't do their part. They become like, I'm the guy, and they just put more pressure on the business to support them, right? And it's improper support. Like, for instance, I see a lot where guys that really excel become prima donnas. And if we can not become prima donnas and just continue to hone our craft and expand what we know, okay, you're great at doing this job. You're a great repair person. You're a great salesperson, whatever, in this industry. And you become the number one person revenue-wise. But are you the most profitable person in the company, right?
If you enjoy watching more videos like this, click here. If you want to watch the full version of the clip you just watched, click here. And as always, thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing.